your comfort zone. This is the box of comfort right here. All outside this is where growth happens. So.
Welcome to another episode of Embrace the Chase, ladies and gentlemen, where over the next year plus we are interviewing well over 100 entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers so that we can pick their brain, kind of figure where they're at in their journey, and if there's any advice that they can give us that we can learn from and grow as well. And today on the show, we have Keith Neuman, the founder and CEO of New Digital Solutions. And I am pumped to have you on, man. Was able to connect with you in person at Thrive this past week at Vegas, and just excited to pick your brain today and learn, man. So is there anything I missed that you want to share?
No, I think you got it. I'm just excited to be here. So excited that I was able to connect with you at Thrive, and just ready to get this going.
I love it, dude. I love it. I'm pumped. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So before we started recording, you mentioned that you've been working on your personal brand. So if there's any way, before I dive deep into that, which is what I'd love to hear more about, can we just start from the top? Can you tell us kind of your story, how you got into entrepreneurship, and then what's led you up till today?
Okay, yeah. So basically, I've been doing a lot of different things over the past couple of years. I'm 22 years old right now, but I actually dropped out of high school in grade 11. So even though I'm 22, I've been out of school for a long time now, almost 5, 6 years. And I just did a little messed around, did this, did that. But about 2.5 years ago, I decided to become a financial advisor, which was definitely a step out of my comfort zone. Might have done it not for the right reasons, maybe to impress other people or stuff like that. But along that journey, I started to do things for myself. I started to realize, being in business for myself is really the path that I wanted to be on. So as I was doing that, I used my skills online because I've been on YouTube, different things like that. I used to have a channel with 13 million views total on YouTube back when it was first started. So I decided that I would kind of go back to my roots, start doing things with that nature. So I started a jewelry company online with little to no experience, just pretty much fell on my face. Learned just different things that I needed to do to be an entrepreneur, to work for myself, and I did okay as a financial advisor, but I consider it a failure in my eyes. People say, oh, you did great, but to me, I don't think I did that good of a job. And I used that, I failed forward, I got back up, dusted my shoulders off, and kept moving. And then I found a course about digital marketing, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I did that, did a lot of extra learning, took many different courses, read books, and I started my digital marketing agency about 8 months ago. Fell on my face, failed forward, kept moving, and yeah, I was able to find some great mentors. I decided to not limit myself. I decided to reach out to people on social media, meet some of the best people I've ever met in my life. If I would have limited myself to just my city, I mean, there's great people in my city, but I don't know how to find them. So, but on social media, I mean, it's no matter where you look, all these people you find, you talk to, even the people who don't have themselves quite up and running yet, it seems like it's not that huge of a community. Like people really seem to know everyone. It's really funny, right? So I've immersed myself in the community, tried to meet as many people as I can, try and help as many people as I can. And on my journey of helping myself, I've been able to help others. And, I've discovered a passion of spreading my message as a public speaker. So I'm still honing my message. I don't think I'll ever be finished. Um, I'm just trying to grow, help other people grow, because I don't think there's ever a cap or a limit on how much growth you can have. So I'm just moving forward with my marketing agency. That has gotten up, it's fallen down, it's gotten up again, and hopefully I'm trending upwards for a while now, but I'm not ever afraid of failures. A lot of people are afraid of failing. I say fail forward, man. Fall on your face, get back up, and get back higher than you were before.
I love it, dude. That's awesome. So then, question for you. You said you started your digital marketing company roughly 8 or 9 months ago. Did you hear about it from Ty's course?
Yeah, that's the course I took.
That's awesome, man. So I took the same one. So I also started a digital marketing company. Mine's called Bridge Social Media Marketing about the same time. So I love it, dude. So you're so freaking true. Everybody starts connecting with each other, and then it's just wild. So got a couple more questions, but I'm going to pivot slightly. So you said you went from financial planning to doing a digital marketing company that's still doing well and it's growing. Have you always wanted to be a public speaker though, or was there some way along the line where you just felt like you wanted to start giving back? Like, how did that
Uh,
connect?
it's funny. In my mind, it was always kind of there. I didn't know what it was. People always told me, oh, you're good with your words. You can express yourself well. I didn't know what that meant, you know, so I can talk well. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything realistically. I mean, some people who can't speak well can still get their words across, but people always told me that. I didn't know what it meant, but I always knew there was something inside me that I always wanted to give out, to give back. I always wanted to give back, but I didn't know how. So I didn't know how this feeling, what I thought inside, just as even as a little kid, how it was going to manifest. I didn't know how it was going to show itself through me, right? So I probably didn't know it was going to manifest itself as being a public speaker until August. August 1st, I found my public speaking mentor, and he has really allowed me to open myself up to myself and see inside, look around, figure out my strengths and my weaknesses and what I can improve on and how I'm able to deliver my message, right? So since then, I did my first live probably August 20th. So about 2 months ago, I'm not
That's so
a
cool.
month and a half ago, and I sucked, man. I'm already getting better, getting more comfortable on camera, it's happening real fast. I actually am blessed to be taking the stage in a week and a half from now. Hopefully I have a lot of other communications with people. So hopefully I'll be getting more speaking gigs in the future, just being able to get in front of people.
So
So
tell me more about that. How did you get your first speaking gig?
from Thrive.
No way, dude.
Yeah, so I know you're familiar with PJ Dixon.
Dude, I love PJ.
So after watching him speak, I was incredibly inspired. I don't know how you couldn't be after watching him. And I went and spoke with him after. And I mentioned to him, I was like, I am becoming a speaker. I'm trying to become, and he stopped me dead in my tracks. And he was like, no, you are a public speaker. You need to think it. You know what I mean? You're not on your way. You are a speaker. And I was like, well, I've never been on stage. And he's like, well, you're speaking to me right now. I was like, okay, okay. So I literally turned around, went into the room. The first person I spoke to, I mentioned to him that I am a speaker. I was like, I am a speaker. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, I have an event like an hour away from your hometown. Would you like to come speak? And that's how it happened. 15 minutes
That's
later, just a
so
simple change of
crazy.
mindset, simple change of wording. I was able to get my first speaking gig just like that.
That's awesome, man. Dude, that's you got me so pumped up right now. I love it. So we were both at Thrive. So a lot of people have no idea what Thrive is. So I mean, obviously, go to attendthrive.com. You guys can learn all about it. But really, the questions that I have for you more centered around Thrive is, let's just start with the first one. What was the biggest impact on you from that weekend?
Ah, well, some of the speakers, I mean, they were so different. There's I think 26 speakers. A lot of them were so different. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Jim Quick set it off. I think Tai Lopez, Grant Cardone, and a few others. They had real tangible stuff, like things you could apply the next day. Lots of notes. You could take tons of notes from those guys. But then there was the people like Naveed Jain or Les Brown. That it's not so. You kind of have to let it marinate in your mind, and there's nothing you can say. Like I can't just say one sentence that I took from Les Brown. But I can definitely tell you that Naveed Jain and Les Brown left the biggest impact on me. And I mean, I was just excited to see Les Brown. I didn't even know who Naveed Jain was. I've researched him since and just realized, wow, this guy is literally moving the human race forward. If you guys don't know about him, I invite you to check him out. Um, but I think in terms of speaking, I got a lot from that, tangible and motivation wise and stuff like that. But my biggest takeaway wasn't even from any of the speakers. I don't know. If somebody could beg to differ with me, but I think me and my friend Jeremy, we out networked probably everyone there. I swear. I met so many people. I just went out of my way. I went out of my comfort zone. I tried to approach everyone. When I left Thrive, my stack of business cards was like this thick. And I just tried to network with so many people, and the opportunities were there. I just had to open myself to them. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest thing as an entrepreneur is you need to have your mind open and ready for when you're able to switch up to the next paradigm of thinking. You need to have your mind open to the opportunity to get up there, right? Because opportunities are always showing themselves, but your mind might not be open to them, right? So you need to open up your mind so that when those opportunities come to get to the next paradigm of thinking, you can level up, level up. And I'm telling you, Naveed Jain, some people are thinking about how they're gonna, you know, what they're gonna have for breakfast, and he's thinking of how he can cure the human body of all illnesses. So, I mean, there's levels, and I know I'm working up to be on that $8 billion level like he is, but it starts with just one paradigm shift of thinking up and up and up, right? But yeah, I would definitely say that networking and connecting with people and just learning from them just was the biggest takeaway. I mean, you were there. I saw you recording me and Marshall when I was interviewing him. I think that was really great. I loved his insights. And no, you're interviewing me now, but I was actually able to interview over 30 people.
That's insane, dude. 30 people?
30 people I got to interview. Some of them were shorter, some of them were longer. I actually got to interview Tom Bilyeu. That was awesome. Got to interview PJ Dixon as well. Got to interview John Lee Dumas.
That
So
dude. Mm.
yeah, I'm pretty impressed with myself. But it was all by just putting myself out there, right? That's all I had to do, and that's what I invite all of you guys to do as well. Just step out of your comfort zone. This is the box of comfort right here. All outside this is where growth happens.
So then, question for you. Still sticking with Thrive, but with the theme that you've been talking about. A lot of people in my life, as I'm sure in your life, always seem to, other than I want to have an online business and make money. That usually seems to be the thing that gets people in the door. But the second question I always hear is, well, how do I network? The sexy phrase of here's the box and outside your comfort zone is where all the magic happens. I fully agree. But my question for you is, you did 30 interviews. So how can you tangibly, I don't know, maybe give some advice to some people on what that exactly means?
Well, a lot of people say lead with value. And I mean, that's a great phrase, but how do you do that? How do I go up to Tom Bilyeu and give him value? I don't have any real value that I can give him unless I sit there and blow his mind with one phrase somehow, which I don't have the ability to do. I mean, my friend Jeremy, I don't know what he said to Naveed Jain, but he bowed to him. And I was like, he shook my hand. How did he bow to you? But I don't know. He's a good guy. But sometimes, you can't lead with value. You know what I mean? There's no way to because you don't always have something to offer to these people. But what you do is they're trying to lead with value as well, right? So sometimes you do have to take a little bit before you can give. And I mean, they're willing to help. People always underestimate the ability and the likelihood of people willing to help. Of all those people I asked, and I didn't know any of them, nobody said no, not one person. Nobody. Everyone was willing to talk. And I mean, not everyone I interviewed was from Thrive. There was just random people on the street in Vegas. Not one, actually, no, one person said no because he didn't want to be on camera. That was it. He would have done it. So, and I mean,